Hello, welcome to Hope Ready, a series designed for new students to help you become better acquainted with Hope College. I'm your host, Dr. Ellen. Today's topic is college transition. Transition affects new students, also affects the parents and families of our new students. So I'm going to address both topics or both groups of people in this video today. So first, let's just talk overall about transition. Transition can be challenging. It's change for both the new student and the parents and siblings. And like anything else in life, when you are encountering change, it's not always linear. You're not on a straight path. Sometimes you're making progress. Sometimes you get to a place where you feel stuck and stagnated. And sometimes you feel like you're regressing. For students, it might feel like, ooh, that reaction was more like my sophomore high school self than my high school graduate self. That's normal, that happens. It's all part of the change and transition process. Change can bring up mixed feelings for anyone involved. Sometimes you can be excited and proud and filled with joy, and other times you can feel disappointed, upset, bothered by how things are going. That's all totally normal. I like to think back to the toddler years when small children are learning how to walk. When those first steps are taken, or those first several steps are taken, you can see on a toddler's face the joy and excitement and pride of that moment. And then inevitably there will be a fall, some sort of setback in those first steps. And when that happens, the toddler cries and wants to crawl back to mama or dada. And sometimes change can look like that on a more developed level when you're thinking about it. So just know, keep that in mind as you're thinking about transition to college, that that kind of thing can happen. It really is, though, an opportunity for growth. So keep that at the forefront of your mind, that through all of this, college students, new to college students, you are going to be emerging into adulthood, and it's an exciting time. And with that, just know that you can always ask for help. There are so many people who've done this before you and made it through the transition. You can do it too. Hope College has lots of structures, resources, and people in place to help you as you progress in your time at Hope. So also keep that in mind. You're going to be growing and learning every single day here, and it's exciting, but we're here to help make that journey the most productive one it can be for you. Okay, so for this summer, before you get to college, students, I want you to think about expectations. What are your expectations for what your first year at college will be like? Parents, family members, I also want you to think about expectations that you have for this student. Then you should talk about those, because they might match and they might be different. And it's important before you get to college to actually have that discussion. What do you expect? What do you hope for? So talk about your hopes and dreams for your own experience, students. Talk with your parents about expectations around money. Who's paying for what? How is the money part of living away from your family going to work? Talk about expectations for grades and the academic component of college living. And then also talk about communication. What are the expectations from parent to child, from student to parent, about how often you'll communicate, about how you will communicate, and have some of those ideas set out before you get to college, knowing that things can shift and change, but have some initial conversations around communication to help you all as you progress through this process of transition. One thing we know about college students and the college student experience is that there's a lot of growth and development that takes place. That's why you come to college, to learn as a human and to grow and develop and emerge into adulthood. And I want to highlight some of the ways that college students change while they are in school. And I do this because I think it's helpful for parents to hear and to think about what the changes are, and for students to anticipate, oh, hey, yeah, this is how I'm going to change when I'm in college, because it is different than being in high school. First thing I want to talk about is that college students in their journey are defining who they are, defining themselves as an individual, separate from their families. And that's a normal process. Again, you're emerging into adulthood and you're figuring out who you are. Sometimes that involves trying new ways of being. You might make choices at college that are different than what you did in high school. It's kind of a fresh start for you and a more independent start for you, so you can make some choices about who you are as a human on this planet. A lot of times that means understanding the different aspects of yourself and how those intersect. What are the identities that make you uniquely you, and how do those come together? Uh, Another part of that is sometimes questioning how the beliefs that you've grown up with fit into the emerging adult you are becoming. And that's totally normal, totally natural. I think sometimes parents are like, "Ooh, don't question your beliefs." But remember that it's just part of the journey of growth and development, and it's okay to question things and think about, do I believe this? Don't I believe this? Why do I believe this? That's a totally normal part of figuring out who you are. Another thing that happens with students as they're figuring out who they are as an individual is learning how to manage their emotions. When I talk about managing emotions, think about like when you're upset, when something doesn't go well, how do you respond? And parents, I want you to remember that you are safe space to your student. And I can think of a bunch of different stories of times when the upset student has called home or FaceTimed with their mom or their dad. The student is very upset and talking about whatever situation is creating that emotion. The family is receiving this and is now worried. When the call ends, the student feels like, oh, great, I said what I need to say to people that know and love me, and now I feel fine. And the parents are left on the other end worried about if their student is fine. The student has just gone on and like gone on about their day feeling great or better. And again, that's a place where you parents need to remember your safe space. Students, remember to maybe follow back up with your parents the next day and say, like, I feel so much better. I'm glad I had that conversation with you. Sometimes we just need safe space to vent and to say the things that are bothering us, and then we feel better. So parents, remember that and keep that in mind. All of those things together help a student define who they are as an emerging adult, as an individual on this planet. So another way that students grow and develop is intellectually, which I think you might expect coming to an institution of higher education. When students arrive at college, they are often more black and white thinkers. Things are more clear cut, rigid. It's this way or it's that way. And as you progress in your journey at Hope, you will be able to grasp more complexities and think about the gray in between the black and the white. And that's normal and that should happen. And part of what that means is that as you progress in your thinking, you will be able to think more critically about different ideas, concepts, beliefs, and you will also maybe question things or challenge ideas that you maybe once held. That's all part of the intellectual growth and development that happens as a college student. I do want to talk about academics for a quick second here. One thing as you think about intellectual growth and development, just know, students, that college is different than high school. And one major way it's different is your class schedule is going to be very different. You're going to have gaps in your schedule potentially, and times of day when you have nothing scheduled. And as a college student, you're going to have to make time to study. You're going to have to make time to get the homework done in a much more self-directed way. Professors are not going to be saying, like, when you go home tonight, make sure you do this, this, and that. You're going to have to pay attention to what's on a syllabus and create a time management system that works for you. You're also going to have to take initiative to ask for help if you don't understand what is expected of you, or if something in a class is not going well. You need to sign up to go to an office hour with a professor or seek help from a different resource on our campus when you need help, when that's necessary. So quite different than high school. You won't necessarily be doing homework every night because maybe you're doing homework every afternoon or that kind of thing. But just know that you're going to have to manage that differently as you go through your semester here at Hope. Okay, another way students grow and develop is in their independence, and that is part of emerging into adulthood. And parents always like it when I talk about this one. Doing the mundane tasks of life actually lead to greater confidence for emerging adults. So when you think about doing laundry, making sure that you're getting up on time for class or a job or some other commitment, how you manage your money, deciding when you are going to call home, or when you are going to eat, or what you are going to eat, how to handle a different situation. If you're somebody who takes medication, making sure that you're taking your medication daily and having that set and that you're tracking that. All of those things together, if you work on that this summer, students, you will be better equipped for the fall. And for parents, here's your chance to say, Dr. Ellen said, you need to do your laundry, son or daughter. It really does help create a greater level of confidence to do more difficult things as you emerge as an adult. So that is one thing to think about this summer. I will say, students, sometimes college students have the false notion that independence, that they're supposed to be independent, or that independence means that they can't ask for help. And I want you to hear loud and clear that you should always ask for help. If you have a need, ask for help. I still ask my mom for help when I can't get something out of a stain out of something on a piece of clothing. So always ask for help if you need the help. That's part of adulting too, is taking initiative to get needs met when you do need that help. So do the mundane tasks, ask for help when you need it. Another way that students grow and develop here at Hope College is in their faith. And we are an invitational campus, so students come with all varied degrees of faith or no faith at all. And on our campus, there are so many opportunities for people to explore and to learn more, to question what they've grown up believing, and to really own their faith on their own or make a decision about that. And so just know that that is another way that students can grow and learn while they're here. One of the other areas I wanted to focus on is relationship building, and people need people. So here you are coming to a college campus, and you are figuring out who you are as a person, and also looking for your people, your new friends, your college friends. And that is something that every person that comes to Hope is going to be on a journey for, finding their people. Just know that finding your friend group can take time. Some of you might have best friends that you've been best friends with your whole life, and this will be the first time in a long time that you are going to be seeking new friends. So make sure that you give yourself time and space to do that. Sometimes it doesn't happen right away. I also encourage you to be a little bit bold and take risks out of your comfort zone to meet new people. If that's hard for you to do, ask for help. But go out on a limb to strike up a conversation, to ask somebody to have a cup of coffee, to meet them and see if you might be lifelong friends. I think that as you prepare this summer, it's important for you to think about your values, what you want out of friendships. If you're living on campus, what you want out of that roommate relationship. And if you're somebody who's seeking a significant relationship, to think about what that might mean to in your life while you're a college student. So be open, think about who you are, who you want to be. The friends that you surround yourself with will have an influence on your life. And so think about that ahead of getting here to Hope College. One last note for you. Research shows that college students who are involved in something outside of the classroom actually do better inside the classroom. So it's okay to have a job or get involved in a student group, or if you're an athlete, that's great, or sign up for a Bible study, but to have something in your life besides just going to class and doing homework really is going to help you do better as a Hope student. So there are so many ways to get involved, and there will be opportunities when you get to campus to find out what some of those are if you don't know what they are already. So just know that getting involved is a good thing in your life. And of course, you always want to be a student first and pay enough attention to your academics so that you are successful in that way, but also investing in something outside of the classroom and engaging with something or participating in something can really help you as a college student. Please know that there are so many resources at Hope to help you be successful. And parents, you can look things up on a website or nudge your student in a certain direction if you think that they need it. But we want you all to be successful here at Hope and have a smooth transition to college. With that, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and until I see you again, let's all work to be Hope ready.